So imagine coming back after missing half the season, and then you say, we need some extra pieces, we don't want to talk about the players we're going to trade or move until after the season, but we need players to complement me, Spence, KD, Garrett Temple, Karis LeVert, and DeAndre Jordan. First of all, Kyrie Irving, how could you mention Garrett Temple over Jarrett Allen and Joe Harris? Guys that are centerpieces for the Brooklyn Nets and fan favorites. And I'm not taking Garrett Temple over Joe Harris, who is in his 20s, who can shoot the 3-ball shot in this era of 3-point making shots. I don't get it, Kyrie Irving. It's a good thing you're not a general manager, but I see that you're not even a leader either. I mean, you couldn't be a good GM because, of course, you excluded Joe Harris and Jarrett Allen. But then you're not a good leader either. And now I feel bad for LeBron James because people took your side over LeBron James and people said LeBron James was the one that was toxic, but you're the one that's clearly toxic, Kyrie Irving. You don't do that. Not with Joe Harris when Joe Harris is a fan favorite. If I'm going to Brooklyn and I'm watching a Nets game, I'm booing you for that. You don't do that to Joe Harris. Now, for those of you guys that don't know and aren't from Brooklyn or aren't from New York, Joe Harris is really loved by Brooklyn. So for Kyrie Irving to go and say that and offend everybody he didn't mention, because he was particular with who he mentioned. He mentioned his best friend DeAndre Jordan. Apparently Garrett Temple and Kyrie Irving are best friends, because how do you mention Garrett Temple, a man that's in his mid-30s, over Joe Harris? Then you mention LeVert. And of course, you better mention Spencer Dinwiddie, the guy that held it down while you were gone. But you don't mention the rest of the team. How could you actually be in the locker room with a guy that says he wants you traded? That's what Kyrie Irving said. No apology. Nothing Kyrie Irving says can make me feel better after he just said he wanted me traded for some better pieces. Not only is he calling me garbage, but he's saying he can't win with us. And that's disrespectful considering how good Jarrett Allen is defensively. Joe Harris has been struggling from 3 as of late, but he'll find his stroke. How do you disrespect these guys, man? Now, I'm not going to mention Taurean Prince. I don't ever pronounce his name. I could never pronounce his name correctly. We'll call him Prince. I'm not going to mention Prince because Prince is a guy that's movable. But as far as Jarrett Allen and Joe Harris, and Kevin Durant hasn't even come back yet to even give them an opportunity to show what they have to play with you and KD, I mean, that's just disrespectful. And even if that's what you feel, you don't say it. You don't say it. LeBron James, man, I'm sorry you had to deal with Kyrie Irving. Or should I call him Cry Me a River Irving? Because this is unacceptable. And Kyrie Irving is the reason they lost to the 76ers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they were playing the 76ers. He went 6 for 21. And then you're going to blame your teammates and point the fingers. How about saying it's your fault? That's why they ran you out of Boston. That's why people didn't like you in Boston, because you were quick to point the finger. If you weren't the one that took the last shot, you were crying. Like if somebody owed you something. You are toxic, my friend. You are very toxic. And you have to look in the mirror and realize that the world doesn't revolve around you. I understand you believe that the earth is flat, but that has nothing to do with basketball. And I don't know why I brought up that point. That was a cheap shot. But still, man. Still, Kyrie Irving. Still, Cry Me a River Irving. This is unacceptable, and you don't do that. This really bothers me because I go to Brooklyn Nets game and I've been watching Joe Harris for years. Since he's been playing with Brooklyn, I've been watching Joe Harris. So for him to take that shot, that's unacceptable, unacceptable, unacceptable. And the Brooklyn Nets better not trade Joe Harris, because Joe Harris could contribute with KD and Kyrie Irving. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can shoot the 3-point shot in this era, as I already mentioned. You don't say that. I don't care if your teammate is a washed up Derek Fisher and a 55-year-old Patrick Ewing. I'm trying to be very, very sarcastic here with who I mentioned. I don't care if it's a Brandon Roy and a Greg Oden from the Big 3 League. I don't care who your teammates are. I don't care how bad your teammates are. Your teammates are the guys that ride with you for 82 games. You don't say what you said about these guys, especially when they were holding it down when you weren't there. You don't say that. It's just like, who does that? Who does that? You're not a good leader if you do that. And I don't believe you're a leader at all. This right here, man, if things don't change around, if the society of the Brooklyn Nets becomes toxic, Kyrie Irving, I'm blaming you. Because honestly, I would not want to be in the locker room with a guy that just said he expects me to get traded, when Kyrie Irving is the reason that we're in the hole that we are because he didn't play half the season, and KD isn't even back yet to determine how good we would be with KD. And here you are talking about we have to get traded when you shot 6 for 21. Unacceptable. With that being said, I'm out of here.